is my favorite part, is when no one's on here, because when I save this to my story later, you're gonna have to look at this couple seconds. Hey, I see you. Okay, now you're here. Okay, I'm gonna let a few more people get on here before I start talking. Hope everyone's having an amazing day so far. It's been a pretty crazy couple days for me, so I hope you guys are having as fun a time as I am. Here. I see a lot of people I know. Hi, guys. If I know you personally, I'm not going to shout out everyone individually because I don't want anyone to feel left out, but I love you. Thank you for supporting a close, and for those of you who don't know me, from afar. Here we go. Right here. So now that we have a few more people, I'm on here to talk about Mystic and specifically Heart of Darkness. If you don't know this somehow and you're following me and you happened upon this live, Heart of Darkness is the first track off Mystic, my upcoming album, which is coming out February 14th. Yes, Valentine's Day. Ooh, so fun, so flirty, so fresh. And Heart of Darkness as a song and as a music video came out on Friday. Oh my god. It's the first Mystic release, and I'm losing it. The video, I've gotten a lot of comments on the visual, obviously, because it came out, is one of 12 that'll come out with the album. That's a video for every single song. And they all come together in a way that is very cohesive and important, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it. So, hi. I see a lot of what's ups. How you doing? I'm good. I am currently losing it because this has been the craziest couple days of my life. Mystic is the most important thing I've ever done ever, and to have some releases start pouring out from it, surreal. This is crazy. So that's how I'm doing. Everything is bizarre. So I'm gonna start answering questions as you guys send them in. Please send them, and I'll talk about anything you guys want me to talk about that I can, of course. Okay, what made you choose Heart of Darkness as the first single? So, Mystic as an album is told in stages and chronologically. Okay, so the album is in 3 chapters. The first chapter is called The Rabbit Hole. It's the first 4 songs. And it is about me at my absolute rock bottom. And not just me, but at rock bottom in general, whatever that looked like for you, too. Then the second album is called Purgatory. And it is a second chapter, I apologize. Second chapter is called Purgatory, and it is transitional, and it's the beginning of the journey out of the darkness. And then the third chapter is called Oxygen, and it is about being on the other side, whatever that means. So, Heart of Darkness is the first song from the first chapter. Halsey, if you look on my Twitter, Halsey recently tweeted something really interesting about her album Manic, which came out on Friday. I haven't listened to it yet, but I hear it's amazing. Sorry. Total aside. And she asked people not to just open up to a random song, skip to it, shuffle through it, to listen to it front to back, at least for the first time, just so you can understand what you're hearing and the way it was meant to be heard. She's a huge believer in that. I am also a huge believer in that. I retweeted it and added the comment that it was the exact same case with Mystic. You have to, in order to really experience this project, experience it front to back. So when we decided how to release it, we released it in that way. We released the first song on the album first. So, yeah, that is why Heart of Darkness was chosen, so you guys could take the journey step by step from cover to cover with me. Just discovered your music yesterday. I absolutely love it. Well, welcome to the club, man. Oh my god, it's good to meet you. Good to meet anyone who's new here. And for those of you who have been here since the beginning for all the day ones, it's so cool because we have this really cool situation in our community where we have some of you who've known me since I was 9, since I first started featuring on Demons with Tech and 3-6 Mafia, and some of you who just found out yesterday. And so you guys are it's really cool kind of what we're doing here. Sorry, I'm all over the place. So can you make more shirts on black other than white? I don't do white, but I want to support you. Yo, we got some cool new merch coming out. It's really cool. The first piece of Mystic merch, which I think you can buy now, I know I have it, but that doesn't mean anything, is a beanie with the Mystic eye right here, a third eye. It says Mackenzie Nicole on the back, so I'm 300% sure that those are up for purchase, because I feel I've seen people wearing them, but these last couple months, because of Mystic, have been such a blur that I'm pretty much confused all the time. Who do I want to collaborate with the most? Flume. I've said this since I was like 15 or 16. I think Flume is an amazing producer. I think it'd be amazing to work with him. Obviously, everyone wants to work with Kanye, so I want to work with Kanye too. So, what songs am I doing with Tech? We have some stuff that'll, be coming out in the future, but that's not really, like, he's not on Mystic, per se. Thank you for speaking out about mental health. I'm excited for it. So thank you for supporting that, because it's something that's obviously so important to me. Mystic itself is about stages of mental health and wellness, and unwellness also, very mainly that. And it's something that is not only important to me, right, because it should be important to everybody, because it's just as integral to who you are as your physical health, but it was so necessary for me to tell this story, because when it came time for me to record my second album, I had no shortage of content in this field, right? I'll talk more about this, and I really talk about this heavily in my TED Talk that's coming up, that I'm going to be doing in February with TEDx, University of Nevada. But I went through this mental breakdown for 6 months of 2018. And then I got into recovery. I got into therapy with my amazing psychiatrist and got on medication. And that wasn't like an immediate fix, obviously. Like, that doesn't exist. Like, there's no like, oh, let me just flip the switch and be better. So I was a couple months into recovery, and I was still struggling, obviously, doing so much better, but still struggling with the getting better. And then I had this responsibility, like, okay, now it's time to do the second album. And so I wrote what was on my mind, which was recovery, you know what I mean, and what I went through. And so that's what the album's about, is all of that for me. And so as we push this album, like, what else am I going to focus on? Like, that's what made it what it is talking about mental health. So thank you for your support there. Mystic will take you to Post Malone, oh baby, I hope. Okay. What made me choose the title for the album? There are a lot of questions with Mystic I don't know how to answer, and this is one of them, for a couple reasons. First of all, it came in pieces. I always say that, and you're going to hear me say this a lot as we do these lives, because I'm going to do a live the Saturday after every video release. So if we release on Fridays, we're going to get a live on Saturday. And so every Saturday I'm probably going to repeat this, but the album I didn't create this album. I didn't create these visuals. I didn't create the girl. It all existed outside of me in the universe. I just happened to be the person who found it. So at one point it came to me, I think in like 2017, that, it'd be kind of cool to do a psychic-themed album. And then on January 19th, 2018, we made a big step in that direction. The 19th, I'm going to post something. I think that's tomorrow. Yeah, it's tomorrow. Sorry, all my days are messed up. This has been a really stressful couple weeks. Tomorrow, I'm going to post something really cool about the history of Mystic that you guys need to keep an eye out for. But that was where it just kind of developed the idea of what if we did this album that was psychic themed? What if we called it Mystic? And so that was way before the album existed, though. Like, it kind of worked backwards. Like, we came up with the idea, I came up with the idea of, let's call an album Mystic. And then after that, we had the experiences that caused it. And then after that, we did the music, and then we worked back to front on that, and the last song we did was the first song, and, everything kind of, it was like watching a movie in reverse in some ways, and now we are playing it forward for the first time as we release it. So the album kind of, I'm trying to answer the question, what made you choose the title for the album, and I just gave you a huge rant that didn't answer it. I'm not really sure. It just kind of came to me. Here we go. Was there inspiration to this way of telling the story, breaking a concept album into 3 chapters, maybe from a movie or someone else's way of storytelling? So I've always been obsessed with concept albums that are actual concept albums. Nowadays, everyone wants to do this thing where they're like, I did a skit in the middle of an album, and in my head, they're related. So now it's a concept album. And you can call your music whatever you want. I can't tell you that you didn't make a concept album, but to me, that's not what that is. For me, it has to have an overarching theme and concept that unites it and that it's supposed to convey, and, an overall story. And for me, there's this moment as an artist when you're writing darkness. Like, I've noticed this a lot when Tech was doing KOD and other works that have that level of darkness, that you can fall too far into indulging your darker tendencies, you know what I mean? And you can get addicted to wallowing in that. And that can be healthy, right? It can help you express that, get it off your chest, but it can also trap you. And as a listener, it can be healthy in the respect that you feel a relationship to the artist that you've never felt before because someone else has felt the darkness you've felt. But at the end of the day, if I give you an entire album full of dark music, right, all that you've learned at the end of the album is, cool, you're depressed too, got it. Like, you know what I mean? And like, maybe now we're in communion in that, but I haven't done anything for you. So that's why I wanted to talk about not only the darkness, but then the next stage, which is getting out of the darkness, or at least trying. And then I wanted to show you what the light looks like to me. Because I'm there now. I'm not perfect, but I'm better. And I wanted to be able to tell you guys the full story. You know what I mean? Because I felt a responsibility to you guys. Not only to tell you, hey, there's darkness, but also, hey, there's light. So that's why I wanted to tell it in the 3 chapters. Is because I wanted to make sure that I fulfilled my responsibility as a storyteller to give you an ending. Thank you guys for all the kindness, I love you guys. Thank you for all that. I'm proud of you, all that. Like, it means so much to me because I've worked really hard on this. Not sure if there's a track list yet, but which song would be your favorite from the Mystic album? So the track list is available. It's one of my recent posts on Instagram. I think we released it Wednesday night, if I'm correct. And my favorite is the 5th track, the first track in the 2nd chapter. It is called The House Above the World. It is the best song I've ever written and recorded. When you guys hear it, you're going to lose it. It is an amazing track. Seven and I really worked to make that track, like, to make this album experimental and cool. And, like, but that, in his opinion, also is the most experimental song on the album. Am I touring this year? I have some stuff going on, but I can talk about it later on. I can't talk about it quite yet in detail. All right, guys. Sorry, I'm trying to read through all your comments without it just being like moments and moments of me staring straight into the camera without talking to you guys. Where can you get this pendant? Oh, baby. This is my child right here. So a little background on the pendant before I talk about it. The pendant itself was something that... Okay, as I explain things through Mystic, let me give you guys a little disclaimer. I have really bad memory problems, and part of that is because, like, when I experience trauma, like, my brain just represses it. Like, so a lot of Mystic came from a period that was very traumatic for me. So I can't remember a lot of it, or where the ideas came from. I can remember when this was made, but I can't remember what gave me the idea necessarily, but I'll tell you what I remember. And that's going to be the case with a lot of this, so please be patient with me, because I'm doing my best. Marina and the Diamonds, or now she goes by Marina, is one of the most important artists in my entire life. And something she did that was really cool is she had this album called Electra Heart, and you could always tell when a photograph or anything was from the Electra Heart era when you saw her, an interview, anything, because she had a little heart on her cheek. She painted a little heart on her cheek. And I wanted to do that with Mystic. I wanted to give myself the heart on the cheek, right? And so this was created. Every single important thing with Mystic, you will see this eye. That is how you can identify this era, and that's what I wanted to do. So we had it made from our jewelers, amazing Casey Jewelry out in LA, and it is gold, mother of pearl, sapphire, and obsidian, and I love it. So you can't obviously get my exact piece unless you go have it made yourself. I suppose you could do that if you wanted. But we have many pieces that are inspired by this. Obviously the hat that I mentioned earlier, the beanie that has the third eye on it, it's this eye. If you pre-order right now, you'll get an enamel pin that looks like the eye. So there are many ways you can have your own eye. Here we go. What is my favorite Tech 9 song? Come Gangsta. I hope you're doing good now. Yeah, thank you so much. It's hard. You know, like, things are never not hard. When you struggle for a really long time, it doesn't just, like, get better, and you guys know that, but I'm so much better. You know what I mean? Like, it's, like, nothing is ever going to be perfect, and that's good, because now, like, knowing things are never going to be perfect, I can accept the process, in like, whew. I'm sorry, one sec. And I'm sorry, this album's really a lot for me. I'm probably going to cry every single time I do one of these. I've cried every time I've went live and talked about it so far. I cried in the booth making the album. I cried during interviews. I cried during the album cover shoot. Like, whew. So, you know, I'm so much better than I was, like, world away from what I was. And there are, like, you know, there are ups and downs, and there are speed bumps, but no roadblocks anymore. You know what I mean? Like right now I'm in a period where, like, I'm going through some stuff, like, in terms of, like, I have to have my medications adjusted right now, so I'm in the middle of doing that after having them pretty steady for really, like, for months and months. So, like, that's a bit of a struggle right now, right? So there are things like that are, like, little bumps in the road, but they aren't gonna take me down. Like, nothing's gonna take me down again. Like, I'm not gonna have another, like, knock on wood, obviously, but I'm not gonna have what inspired Mystic happen to me again, because I have Mystic to prove to me that it doesn't need to be that dark again. Someone asked me, someone messaged me, and I haven't answered them, so if it's you, like, I apologize for saying it here before saying it to you. They DM'd me here and said, do you think darkness is necessary? And I said, or I thought, it's not necessary, but it's inevitable. So, I'm doing better now. Why did she dream herself in a car accident? Like, is there a reason it was a car accident over a different tragedy? I'm trying to think if I can speak on this without... That's such a good question. I love Heart of Darkness questions specifically because, like, I'm going to be going on and answering about Mystic so much, so if you have anything Heart of Darkness specific, now would be, like, the perfect time. So... when I'm trying to think if this is going to spoil anything else. It's so hard because in my head I know all this, but you guys don't know the entire everything that's going to go on. So it's like I got to be so careful. Okay. I'm just going to recite facts about car accidents, right? And then you guys can put the pieces together. I won't tell it specifically like this is how she's feeling, but I'll tell you a few things that relate to it. So... better yet, I'm going to tell you something I did that inspired that. When I was going to kill myself, I would do this thing where when I was really upset and I was on a road with no one else on it, I would close my eyes while I was driving and count to 10. I never hit anything, obviously, because I'm here. But I just... was gonna let it happen. Just whatever was supposed to happen, because at least I wouldn't have to make the choice, right? So that's all I'll say about the car accident. How do my peers or family react when they are sometimes the subject matter of my content? I had somebody ask me recently, so do you tell your exes when you write about them? Or do you tell anyone when you write about them? Whether you're dating them, whether you're friends with them, whether whatever. I said, I don't owe them shit. So when it's like, so there are a few ways you can take that. Like when it comes to positive songs that are like about people, like I have one song on the album called Stay that's about some people I was friends with. And so at the time when I wrote it about them, I played it for them because I was like, hey, listen, this song is my thank you to you for everything you've done for me. So yes, I would, in that circumstance, they react well-ish. Like, some people don't know how to take it, you know, because, like, it's not a conventional form of thanks, you know what I mean, and gratitude. But it's a great bonding moment, which is really cool. I wrote one of my first songs ever written. It's never going to get released. It's in the Mackenzie Nicole vault, and I'm sure that Ashley will jump on me for that, and so will Brianna. Is called Running Again. It's one of the first songs I ever wrote. It's about my best friend Kelly, and she cries. But when it comes to things that are a little harder, like... On the Edge, where it says, I wish I didn't try so hard to be perfect all the time, but my dad hates failure. He gives me a little bit of a hard time for dragging him there, but it's not that I'm ever saying anything to be negative. I will never diss anyone, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like that. I'm just describing how things are from my point of view. You know, I'm not mad at anybody for it, you know? Like, there are songs on the album, the one that's going to come out next is about someone, and it's not... positive, it's just how it was for me, you know what I mean? So I don't know, it'll be interesting most of the time when I write about people, unless it's something like, oh, here's a song I wrote about you, they don't really put two and two together, or they don't confront me about it, so I'm not really sure. Well, yeah. Do visuals portray the ups and downs of the album visually going into the next release? Ups and downs. Do the visuals portray the ups and downs of the album visually going into the next release? I'm not sure I totally understand the question, Derek. Would you mind sending it worded differently? My brain's also only half functioning because of like all the craziness from Heart of Darkness. But what I think I can answer this with, and tell me if I'm misunderstanding the question, is like the visuals are all related, and so there's a storyline, right? So there's a storyline in the album as I was writing it, as that I discovered wasn't my own. Like suddenly in the middle of writing this album, I realized I wasn't just talking about me. There was someone else there waiting for me as I was writing it. And then as I wrote it, I met her. And I realized that there are going to be some of you who access this album through me and can relate to me, right? And there are going to be people who, and so maybe you're here already, don't really relate to me, might not really like me, but like the music. And so I don't want to exclude y'all. Like, I want to give everyone a way up the mountain because there's far more than one way to climb it. You know what I mean? So, all that being said, I realized this story wasn't just mine. It was all of ours, and it was especially hers. Her being the girl in the visuals. I just call her the girl, so that's what I'm talking about when I say the girl. We both went through a mental breakdown in our own unique way. We both went through the same thing in the same way. You guys saw that in Heart of Darkness. She's not doing well. And so through the visuals, the album, as you listen to it, tells my story. The visuals tell you hers. And they marry in a way that I think really makes the album beautiful. And so, yes, the ups and downs throughout the album are going to be conveyed visually from release to release. And I think that just keep that in mind. Like, I think it would be helpful, honestly, to, as the visuals come out, watch, like, before you watch 5 Months, 4 Days, watch Heart of Darkness so you can see the progression. I think that might be helpful. You can watch them as standalone visuals also, but if you really want to, like, get in there and get the storyline, like, it might be helpful to refresh yourself every week. But, yeah, sorry. Okay. And if I'm answering things in a confusing way, guys, please tell me, because this is a lot of content to talk about, and a lot of it is very complex for me, and also I'm very in my head over it. Like, this has been bouncing around in my head for 2 years, because the album has been done for a year. I've started working on it a year and a half, 2 years ago. So things that are very clear when I say them in my head may not be clear to you guys. So if you need clarification, let me know. Why is All Strange Music, or those releasing music, doing EPs and levels or chapters or segments leading up to an EP? So this is more of a Travis O'Gwyn question at Strange Music CEO. But basically, if I'm going to paraphrase in a Mackenzie way, I'd say that we found that was a way that was best to put all the technical jargon aside. It was a very digestible and accessible and engaging way to enjoy the music you love in a way that is more modern and more applicable to your conventional lifestyle now, where we have this rapid-fire music culture right now. Instead of having to sit down and listen to a whole 12-track, like, mystic-length album, you can take and get an EP this Friday. And you can love those 4 songs and love those 4 songs, love those 4 songs, and then later you'll get the next 4 songs, and later, and eventually you have your full album, but you've gotten to have a unique, like, enjoyable time with each song. That's how I'm at least taking those releases. Now, I'm not going to speak for anyone else. That's not maybe why, but that's how I view it. You know what I mean? I hope that makes sense. Don't quote me on, like, Mackenzie said it was to have an enjoyable experience with all the individual songs. Like, that's not the technical reason, but the Mackenzie Nicole, sorry. Mackenzie Nicole answer is that. A lot of people have been asking me, like, do you have a show here? Do you have a show there? Any shows that I'm on will be announced as they come up. I can't really speak on doing shows right now. Am I trying to do a solo tour for the album? Wouldn't that be cool? That'd be really awesome. How should one go about inquiring for a feature? And I tell everyone this. The easiest way to do it is to go to Travis at strangemusicinc.com. Email him your pitch, the song you want me on, etc., your other music. Just email him, and that's how all collaborations go through. Because if you go straight to me, I'm just going to have to hand it to him. So just go to him. Sorry, guys. I'm just reading through all of your comments. Please don't get any face tattoos, someone says. Mystic face tattoo, like right here. Just get the eye. I think it might be an eye. Or I just get Mystic over my eyebrow, like Peep had Crybaby. Who's my favorite strange music artist? I'm not gonna pick from all my brothers. Like, you know that. Like, these are all my big brothers, man. Like, I can't just be like, which sibling do you like best? Like, I listen to everybody. I think, like, I'm so blessed to have such a talented roster of people around me. Oh. When are we getting Mackenzie bars? One day. You'll see. Here we go. Sorry, I'm just reading through here. I'm trying to make sure that I get all the questions, so bear with me. Is Tech like a big brother to you or almost a father figure in either? Tech's like between a big brother and a father, so I call him like my uncle. Okay. Why didn't I keep the dark hair? So the dark hair was, as I said before, like Mystic, the visuals is not my story, it's her story. We went through the same thing, just in a different way. And I wanted to make that clear by changing my appearance as much as possible. So that's why she has dark eyes and dark hair. Obviously, I'm blonde hair, blue eye. Not right now. I have the contacts in right now as like a little like nod to the videos. But I'm blonde hair, blue eye. She's dark hair, dark eyed. And I just thought like just by doing these simple things, like maybe I could help distinguish like, hey, this person is so important, but she's not me. So that is not Mackenzie Nicole. You know what I mean? Would I call myself an introvert? I don't really like labels for anything. But I've seen the word ambivert top. Bear with me. I have a bad stutter. It's just when I'm stressed, it rears its head, and things are going on right now. Like, a lot of things. Like an ambivert, maybe, where it's, like, kind of a toss-up. I'm really shy, to be honest with you guys. No one thinks that's true because I can get on, like, stage and perform or, like, talk to you guys like this. But I am, and so I'm more of just, like, socially, I'm more of a people watcher than I am anything else. Like, I don't know if that makes me an introvert, but I definitely am not, like, out there like that. How I prepare my speech for when I win a Grammy. We'll see about all that, man. Man, I get a Grammy for something, like, it's over. Like, I don't even know. I'm not one of those people, like, I'm not, like, award-centric when it comes to my goals, but, like, it'd be so crazy to have people recognize something like Mystic. Like, whoa, on that level, that'd be cool. So, if any of you are registered Grammys voters, make sure you hit Mystic. Can I please introduce myself? Hi, I'm Mackenzie Nicole. How does my dad feel about me being an artist? Yeah, he didn't want me to be an artist. Neither of my parents did because, like, they work in the music industry. So, like, you've seen the music industry, you would never want your kid in the music industry. Like, but I'm really fortunate because they both are so supportive of my career and me in general. Like, I have really good parents, guys. Like, honestly, like, I'm really fortunate because I never had a point really, like, obviously, like, everyone, like, has tiffs, but, like, where, like, my parents and I didn't get along. Like, I've been really fortunate, and so both him and my mom are super supportive, even though this isn't, like, your choice career for me. It's, like, you don't want your kid to do something that could hurt them, and this is definitely the industry that can hurt you, so it's cool of them to let me do what I love, you know? What are some things that I do that help me stay positive on a daily basis to not get so into guys, this is hard. Engulfed in self-misery. It's a really good question. So, my big thing, I'm very practical, right? I don't have, like, a journal about your feelings type answer. Like, I take medication, I go to therapy weekly. Like, those are the things that keep me afloat. Like, I wish I could say, like, I, plant roses, or, like, I cook, because, like, I'm not one of those people, like, I don't have those types of solutions. If you guys do, like, if you're one of those people where you're, like, I draw every day and it keeps me afloat, that's amazing, but, like, for me, it's solely, like, I have an amazing psychiatrist who I go to at least once a week, who helps me through everything, and helps me, and I have an amazing support network with my friends and family and my workplace, and I have an amazing cocktail of medications that keeps everything up here okay. So those are the things that, practically speaking, are it. Obviously, as I didn't expect this to happen, but, like, because music was never, like, my therapy. Like, I was never that artist who was like, man, this really helped me get something off my chest. Like, until Mystic. Like, it wasn't until after Mystic that I was like, man, that was cathartic. Like, so now I suppose I could say music is that thing for me also. But really, like, I feel irritated when I ask people, like, how do you cope, and they give me something that, like, is, like, very not, like, tangible, Like, so that's why I always say, like, go to therapy. If you can, like, find a way, find a resource. There are plenty of resources, especially unconventional ones nowadays, where you can get help in that respect. If you want more information on, like, finding a good psychiatrist, like, please contact me, because I'd love to talk to you about it. DM me and I'll find you. And if you need it, not self-medicating, but getting an actual doctor to get you something that's going to help balance your brain chemicals, like, those are the things that helped me, I'm not going to tell you to, like, go, like, dance in a courtyard and live your dreams and all that. Like, that's beautiful, but it's just not what helped me. I'm way behind on your questions. Is it me in the video driving the car, or is it someone else? It is me. Mackenzie Nicole and Bobby Raps collab. Oh, Greg! It's my friend Greg on here. Oh my god, I lose it. He is a precious young boy. If anybody knows Bobby Raps, just, like, tell him I love him. Like, tell him I care for him deeply. Here we go. Again, sorry I'm so far behind. I just want to make sure I'm, like, actually talking to you guys and explaining things. Is Mystic going to be the #1 album on top Billboard 100? Yeah. Here's the thing. I have Paunch. Paunch on the Radio is one of my team members. And I can't remember. I think it's if Mystic goes platinum, or if, like, that he's going to get a Mackenzie Nicole tattoo, like, of me. And he's 100% serious. He does this. He has plenty of great tattoos from Dares. You should ask him. You should DM him and ask him, Paunch on the Radio. But I think it was if Mystic goes platinum. Paunch, if you're on here, correct me. So I wonder what'll happen if it wins a Grammy, or if it goes #1. Like, I wonder who else is going to have to get tattoos. Here we go. Okay. Your father has said that you're always ahead on new artists and bands. What are some new artists or bands you would recommend today? So I'll give you a couple. Aries, at Aries, Aries, is amazing. Love him. He's an incredibly talented kid. That's probably who I'm listening to the most right now. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? After this, I'll post up some stuff I'm listening to on my story. That's a pretty easy way to go about it, because if I listed every artist right now, like, I'm more of an individual songs person than I am, like, an artist person. Like, I'll discover a song I like and pick it up before I investigate the artist, but... Am I naturally blonde? Yes, I am. This is what I look like. I was born with black hair, though. Just turned blonde. A fun fact. Favorite artist besides Strange Music? That's hard. Right now, really. I don't know, man. That's hard. I'll think on that. Was there a certain sample you used for a guitar part of Heart of Darkness? Man, someone's gonna compile all these stutters and clown me. So I've gotten a lot of people ask about Heart of Darkness and why the guitar sounds familiar. It's from and I'm not gonna use the right terminology, and so Seven or someone will have to correct me. But you might have heard it on a few, on another track or two, because it's part of a pack, a pack of guitar pieces and stuff. I don't know production terminology, of song elements that you can buy as a producer. It happens to be from one of those, packages, if that makes sense. It was explained to me. I just don't know terminology very well. But, yeah. It's, you may have heard it somewhere else before, but that's just because it's a element you can buy. Can I talk more about my TED Talk coming up? Yeah, so I'm going to be posting more information about it when it comes to, like, the specific dates, how you can get tickets, all that. You can go to TEDx, University of Nevada, their page for more information. But I am very fortunate to get to do a TED Talk. I'm losing. I can't believe that's happening, honestly. I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be in relation to Mystic. I'm going to be performing songs from Mystic and talking about them, talking about the big picture behind the album. I don't want to spoil too much because I do want to leave some for the actual talk itself, and if I keep going, I'll give it all away. But yeah, I will post up probably today on my story since you asked about it. More information. As it gets closer to the date, I'll post up more. But TEDx, University of Nevada's page has information on how you can get tickets and stuff, so you should totally come. I've also tweeted out some links, things like that. How does it feel to work with Seven? Oh my God, Seven is my favorite person. He's such a good human being. Seven's the reason I'm doing music. I say this all the time. I say it in some content pieces that you guys are going to see coming up, where I talk about the conversations we had and how he got me to do music. I don't think it was intentional. I know it wasn't intentional, but he's the reason I'm here. He's my mentor. He's my hero. He is, in my opinion, the most talented producer ever. He's a genius. It is amazing working with him. We did this album by ourselves. It was me and him, and then Benjineer, our engineer over at Strange. We just sat in the room and made an album. And it was really cool because when we talk about this coming out, we didn't really, almost dropped y'all. We didn't really have any guidelines with this album for once. It was the freest moment in both of our careers, both mine and his. And so getting to work with him and see what he brought to the table just being himself, what I brought to the table just being myself, was incredible. Working with him is my favorite thing. Getting to do an entire album with him was my dream because he's my person. So I love it. When did me and my parents realize I had a great voice? Well, thank you for the compliment. I've been humming before I could talk, so I sang immediately as soon as words got figured out. And I've been doing opera since I was 6, so it's been a minute. I've been working with tech since I was 9 years old. That was my first recorded feature, was Demons with Tech 936 Mafia. I've been doing this all for a minute. Here we go. Are we supposed to assume what the girl's thinking in the car is what it's being sung by you, or is she thinking of something else while she's driving? I don't want to give you too many literal answers. I love that you're asking questions, though. This makes me very happy because I want to leave some of it up for interpretation. Know that I'll say this. The lyrics and the songs themselves are very intentionally plotted with the scenes that you're seeing. You know what I mean? Nothing here was just I bet a car crash would look cool. You know what I mean? Everything you see in the visuals and everything you hear is very intentional, so interpret that how you will. Do I perform for special events if someone throws one and they want you? Again, just contact Travis at strangemusicinc.com. What's the deeper explanation why the girl isn't doing so good in the visuals? You'll find out more about that as we go through the visuals, so I'm not going to ruin that for you yet, because I'd love for you to discover it through the visuals. What do you want to change from your first release, The Edge, going into Mystic? What I keep saying to people is that The Edge was an experiment for me in terms of whether or not I could do a pop album, and now the Mystic is me. You know what I mean? This is the most authentic you've heard me. Finally, it's just me writing. It's just me and Seven. Like I said, no one else is involved. It's just me, Seven, and Ben. Just creating an album together. And so that's what it was changed. Not what I wanted to change, what got changed between The Edge and Mystic. Is now Mystic is me and my story and my writing. Here we go. Can I explain the first line of Heart of Darkness? Ooh, yeah. Thank you for asking me to break down lyrics. Oh my God. If you want me to break down lyrics, let me tell you, you are going to get some cool content you're going to love this week. Woo! Okay. All the thoughts that colonize my mind and make my heartbeat fall out of time. So, Heart of Darkness, and I explain this in some content pieces you're going to get soon, is based off of Joseph Conrad's Heart of Darkness. And it is about colonization in African Congo and how the Europeans basically went into this beautiful place and devastated all of it. And so I'm not paralleling a single thing I've been through to colonization and the evils of slavery or anything like that. So don't take this out of context and don't put words in my mouth there. I'm just putting that right there. I don't think anything I've been through is as bad as the content of the novel, but what I do think is interesting is the parallel of colonization as people taking over an actual landscape versus like emotions and darkness invading your life. You know what I mean? It's the darkness colonized my like entire life, you know what I mean? And so all the thoughts that colonize my mind, all these thoughts that invade it, that take it and just ravage it and make my heartbeat fall out of time, the heartbeat, like, if you watch a heart monitor in a hospital, this is when it starts to spike and then when it starts to slow down. You know, that's all of a sudden it's irregular. You know what I mean? Like, the brain chemicals have been messed with. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is a very literal line in that respect. Like, everything that invades me and alters me. What's the book Heart of Darkness about, and in what ways did it bring me inspiration? So I just explained what it's about. Sorry, I didn't see your question before that. It inspired me because okay, so my high school, STA, St. Teresa's Academy, amazing high school, amazing. My sophomore literature teacher, who I won't shout out by name because he would not appreciate it, but if you're an STA girl, you know, made us read, or had us read, I should say, a book called Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad. And I fell in love. I love literature. I'm a writer first. If I didn't do music, I'd be writing. I love Heart of Darkness. And it inspired me for the reasons I just said, but also because it was a piece of literature that it's probably in my top 3 favorite works of literature. It might be number 2, right behind Heart of Darkness. I mean, right behind Wuthering Heights. Wuthering Heights is my favorite piece of literature. Anyway, I could go on about that another time. It stuck with me because it is in many ways why I do music, that novel. And I'll explain that maybe a different day because it's a long explanation. But when you experience... the novel's about all the beautiful and horrible things about humanity, in many ways. That's a big, broad stroke definition of the novel. And it's how I discovered all the beautiful and horrible things. And this album is about, for me, documenting, much like Joseph Conrad did, how many beautiful and horrible things there are. Have I heard of an artist named Lund? I love Lund. Oh my god, it's so crazy to say that. Fiction is my favorite song to sing right now. Please, you want to talk about artists? Go check out Lund, Lund. The fact you just compared Heart of Darkness to him, like, that's like one of the best compliments I've received so far. You think you could do a collab with Eminem, or do I not like his music that much? Of course I like Eminem, baby. Like, you think I don't like Eminem? Come on. Do I have a new music video coming out, or that just came out? Yes. So Heart of Darkness, the first song off Mystic, which is coming out February 14th, just came out yesterday on Friday. Heart of Darkness song and music video are out. Ashley, girl, I already know I want to compile these stutters. Shut up. Have I heard Eminem's new album? I've heard bits and pieces. I haven't had time to sit down because of the release. Everything's been crazy. Here we go. Favorite song off my album is called The House Above the World. I've talked about it a couple times. It's just really good. It's like the best thing I've ever done. So you guys are going to like it, I think. Favorite strange music artist to work with? I don't have a favorite. I love working with everybody. But I have a lot of fun with... the most unique artist to work with for me is Prozac, because Prozac is the most collaborative process. Almost like pretty much everyone else is just like, hey, here's the idea I had. Here's what I want you to sing, and here's how I want you to sing it. But Prozac was the first artist who I sat down with and was like, hey, listen, let's just do it. Like, you take the reins, do something crazy. So that was really cool, and I've loved working with him. Prozac, I absolutely adore. He's an amazing human being, and he's an amazing artist. He's an amazing, he's amazing. And so I loved working with him in terms of, like, that was probably the most unique process for a long time that I had worked with. Plus, me and him are both very dark individuals, and so, to put it lightly, so we click very well. But in terms of getting to do my own thing, actually, I just did a little something with King ISO. That was kind of cool, so I'll just leave that there. Do I have any tattoos? Travis O'Gwen, if I got a tattoo, would take it off with a cheese grater. So I'm definitely not going to do that. Do you know if your TED Talk will be recorded so we can see it later? It will be. You'll see it. But it will be a long time before you do. So I would, like, if you can get tickets to go to that, it would mean a lot to me. It would be really cool. Like, nothing would make me happier than, like, after I step off stage, like, getting to see some of you guys. Like, that would be really cool, because, like, I love experiencing big stuff with you guys. Like, you guys are my community, you know what I mean? Like, you guys are so important to me. And you guys are, like, who I share everything with. So to get to share that with you guys, too, would be really cool. I love you guys so much. When I was looking to go into Ivy League schools, that was a long time ago, blast from the past, what would I have majored in? I wanted to be a neuropsychologist. But then I realized I'm not that smart. I'm kidding. No, then music happened. But yeah, I wanted to be a neuropsychologist. Now I would go and do something related to literature and writing and English and all that, and then philosophy. Like, now I'd go in that direction because I think that's what I'm more talented at. But yeah, neuropsychology. How am I feeling mentally? I'll circle back to this. I kind of talk about this earlier. But I'm doing better. I'm doing so much better. That's the one thing about Mystic, is that it's got a lot of people worried right now, to say the least. Everything I've been posting has been worrying people a lot. But ultimately, I'm just trying to set the stage for what you guys are about to hear. Because if I go from where I'm at right now and just say, oh, I'm doing fine, and then throw Mystic at you guys, it's going to sound inauthentic, and you guys aren't going to, like, connect with it the way I want you to, the way that you need to get the album and to do her justice. So, like, that's why right now it may seem like I'm a little bit off. Like, of course I have stuff going on. Like, that's always going to happen. But the reason, if you're worried about me, don't. Because everything's fine. I'm just trying to be open with you guys. So if it seems like I'm not doing well, that would be why. Favorite performance/interaction. Will you be a little bit more specific? Benjineer is the best engineer in music. Yes, he is. Oh my God. You want to talk about an underrated just superstar, okay? At Strange Music and music in general. If you know Ben, like, he's the most, like, quiet, introverted, like, he's very, like, unsuspecting dude. He's a genius. Like, he is an incredible human being. Like, he and Seven, like, as a pair, like, are, like, top notch. Like, it's God tier. It doesn't get better. So, yes, like, give Ben some more love, honestly, guys. If my parents didn't want me to get into music growing up, why were they so okay with me singing so young with tech? So, my parents, while they didn't want me, like, they didn't want me to go into music because it's, like, a scary thing to put your kid into, like, your young daughter into especially, they also knew that I love music. And if you have the ability to let your child do something they love and you don't, where does that leave you? You know what I mean? Like, I think that's how they felt, at least. Like, they had the ability to let me do what I wanted to do, you know what I mean? To let me, like, sing on a track with tech, things like this at such a young age, and I was so excited, and I loved that, and I loved the idea. So to not allow me to do that, I think they felt would be cheating me and would make them, would be a poor parenting decision, that was more based on what they wanted rather than what I wanted, you know what I mean? And I want to put words in their mouth, but this is just what I've collected from things they've said. So, I don't know, it's more of a question for them. Well, the pre-orders, one sec, I just lost that question. I'll move on. What advice do I give to upcoming new fresh artists? I'm not going to give you the advice like follow your dreams or like write what you know, like you know all that. What I'm going to tell you is learn business. As an artist, especially if you're young, especially if you're a female, people are going to talk at you, through you, over you, but they're not going to talk to you because they think you're stupid, just the way it is. And so if you can educate yourself on the music industry and what business is and all of that, then you're already going to put yourself way ahead of where people think you are. And so the best thing you can be is smarter than people think. I genuinely believe that. You need to be able to sit in a room with executives and know as much or if not more than everyone else about what's going on. So that's what I would recommend. Being just the artist is not enough. Here we go. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through. Where am I from? I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. Favorite line from the song? That's a great question. Favorite line from Heart of Darkness. The horror, the horror. because that is the most iconic line from the novel. I should, like, honestly put together, like, a full, like, the Mystic Experience pack. Ooh, that's not a bad idea. Like, a little, like, Mystic guide. Like, if you want to get the experience, like, read these novels, because Heart of Darkness is not the only one that inspired the album. Like, go listen to this music, like, do all that. Ooh, that'd be kind of cool. Would you guys like that? Like, if I put together a little, like, you know, the ultimate Mystic Experience guide to, like, hey, if you really want to understand this song, go read this novel. Or if you really want to understand this is the song that inspired it. Like, if you guys want that, like, just let me know, because I could totally do something like that. But my favorite line on the song is the horror. Here we go. Man, what a good question. Do I think I'm going to make a Mystic vinyl? Maybe. I can't confirm or deny that, but that'd be pretty cool. Have I heard Holly's new album? No, I've been so busy with all this Heart of Darkness stuff, I haven't heard it, but I'm really excited. Let me know how it is. Can I ask you questions? Please do it. Any reason why it's coming out on Valentine's Day? This is my favorite thing. Alright, so originally we were going to release this in 2019, right? But then we had this moment where, as we were plotting out release dates, the stars kind of aligned to where it got pushed to 2020, which I loved, because it hit me as we were saying in this meeting. This album's about hindsight. Hindsight's 2020. Like, it just felt like this. It felt right. You know, that may sound cliche, but I was like, man, like, I think it's right that we wait on this release, not only because it makes the most sense economically and in terms of rollout, but because, like, that just seemed kind of perfect, you know, because this album is about reflection, and, like, I don't know. So that's just, like, one little thing. That's not the reason why, but that's more like a little, like, sprinkle on top. We were looking through Fridays during this meeting, like, a bunch of our coworkers, like me and Travis Ogwen were, my dad, and he was like, so, the next Friday after that one is going to be, oh, we couldn't. And I was like, what? He said, it's going to be February 14th, Valentine's Day. And I was like, huh. He's like, we couldn't put it out. I said, oh, we couldn't, possibly. He's like, but it'd be kind of funny. And I was like, yeah, it would be. Because it's this dark album. Like, it's so depressing, honestly. And then putting it out on Valentine's Day is just, like, hilarious. Like, so me and Dad, like, thought that was the funniest thing ever. So that's honestly, like, aside from all, like, marketing and rollout and technical business stuff, that, you gotta admit, it's, like, kind of hilarious. So I think that's a huge part of why we chose Valentine's Day. It's because it's funny. Can I give you a hint as to what we'll be getting next as far as a release? A song. I suck. I'm so sorry. Is goodbye a sad or happy ending? That's a good question. Depends on how you want to interpret it. For me, it's, yeah, I'll leave that there. But that's a great question. Remember that. Put a pin in that for a couple weeks from now. How did the collaboration with Darian Saffron come about for Whatever You Want? Wrote a song, said, Darian, we'll be on the song? So, yeah, sure. That's pretty much, like, I love collaborating with artists on the label, because we're all, like, it's like whenever Tech or anyone wants me on a song, or, like, vice versa, like that, like, it's just, like, mainly all of us, like, being like, but this would be kind of cool. Bring, like, hey, I'm gonna send you something. You think this is cool? It's like when ISO just hit me up. And I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. They're like, cool, that's awesome. You do you. Okay, you do you. Like, and we just all get together. It's just cute and fun. I love you guys back. I'm seeing a couple I love yous, so I'm just like, mwah, you guys rock. I see a few people I didn't expect to be on here. And I'm like, oh, hello. When am I coming to Europe? Soon, hopefully. Like, I really want to get to travel more and perform more. Like, if you guys know, I do pop-up days on tech tours. But, like, my dream is to really get to reach all of you, because there are a lot of you, like, that have to travel to come see me. And, by the way, that's crazy that y'all do that. Like, that's wild. But, like, I don't want to have to make you guys travel to come see me every time you want to, like, have, like, a second to talk or, like, see me live. You know what I mean? Here we go. Is the character wearing a small eye necklace? Great catch! I love when you guys catch things. Yeah, so you may notice the girl has her own little eye. Just keep an eye on that. Hey, an eye on that? Oh my god, I'm hilarious. Wow. Can I explain the line, now I'm nothing but a pair of eyes? So, in Heart of Darkness, the novel, part of their tactic for dehumanizing the Native Africans as colonizers is they don't reference them as like people, they reference them as black limbs or white eyes and things like that, and which is disgusting and horrible. And so basically what I got from that is like there is no regard for humanity when something wants to destroy you. You know what I mean? There's no regard for human life. Like, so for me, like, the illness that I have and what I've experienced, the trauma that's overtaken me, like, it didn't care if I had, like, a heart or a soul. It just saw me as a collection of limbs with chemicals running through them. You know what I mean? And so it was nothing for it to ruin me. Boy howdy, says Punch. Boy howdy. Here we go. You guys are so sweet. You guys keep saying really nice things. Well, that's what I was wondering. Listening to Our Darkness, wondering my books inspired, so thanks. Yeah, so, guys, there are so many things, like, I'm so excited. Now that you guys gave me that idea, like, there's so many things that inspired this album that I think you guys would really enjoy. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, if you enjoy this, then you'd enjoy this. Like, on a website where it's like, oh, you bought this nail polish, go buy these shoes, like, type thing. Sorry, I was just buying nail polish, that's why it's in my head. But, I love to do that for you guys. Like, hey, listen, like, if you like this song, then this novel might speak to you, things like that. I think that'd be cool. Whew. Will you have more videos before the album releases? Here we go. Am I releasing any more songs before February 14th? Yeah. Will all songs be released in tracklist order? Or all videos be released in tracklist order? The entire album experience is going to be in order, yes. It's going to be absolutely, like, yeah, there's not going to be a single skip around, because like I said, it's so important that you experience this in order, and I'm going to try and enforce that in every way I can. Do you see my dad as my dad and then my boss? Can I decide for the difference? I see him equally as both. You know, we do our best to distinguish it, but it's hard, you know, like, he's still my dad and I'm still his daughter, and so working together can be difficult sometimes because it's hard to separate your interests. It is a definitive conflict of interests, but, you know, like, we work really well together. I will say that. Me and my dad have always worked together. Like, ever since I was extremely young, my dad's had me working with him. Both my parents have had me working with them. And so we pretty much have it down pat now. Like, we have a really good system now. And so, like, occasionally, obviously, there's a little bit of headbutting because of those, like, the dad, daughter, boss, employee thing. But at the end of the day, we make it work. I'm having trouble memorizing my lyrics. Any advice? Ultimately, when you write it yourself, it's a little easier. So if you're writing with someone, that could be part of the reason you're having a hard time memorizing. But something that's ultimately really helpful, I have 2 minutes left, by the way. Something that's really helpful for me is just obsessively replaying the songs. Here we go, trying to get through all these questions. What's my sign? I'm a Libra. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just trying to get to your questions. We have like 1:30 left. Okay, so we're all the way at the bottom. We have about 1:30. Make sure you send in any last-minute questions right now, because I'm not going to be, like, getting back on for a second one. Thank you guys so much for hopping on here. I'm really excited that you guys wanted to talk about the album, about Heart of Darkness. I hope I answered your questions okay, because I know there was a lot of rambling there. Yeah, you guys are fantastic. I love you so much. Wow, we talked a lot. It's been like, what has it been, like an hour? Jesus. Do I like my new Jeep? I love my new Jeep. Let me see. The email for Travis is travis@strangemusicinc.com. Again, Heart of Darkness, the first song off Mystic, came out yesterday, and the video came out yesterday. You can find the song on all streaming platforms, anywhere you listen to music. And then you can watch Heart of Darkness music video on the Strange Music Inc. YouTube channel. you can hear the audio on the Mackenzie Nicole YouTube channel. So yeah, thank you guys so much. I love you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and hop off here. Have an amazing day. And again, if you have any more questions, anything like that, make sure you DM me. You know where to find me, at Mackenzie Nicole on Instagram, at Mackenzie Nicole on Twitter, and Mackenzie Nicole on everything else, including every streaming platform. I love you guys. Have an amazing night.